Let me just also press record so I could also record this and place this on Facebook Marketing Secrets group. So the whole thing that has been changing was that the thing I'm going to talk about today, which is basically probably 30 to 45 minutes because I don't want to take too much of your time, is what are the changes and what is Facebook prioritizing in 2020? Okay, so what are the tips and tricks I'm using, the things that I'm experimenting with. There's a lot of things today we're going to talk about is experimentation. Okay, so what I say is not like the gospel of Facebook algorithm because nobody knows what Facebook algorithm is doing. So it's more about what I do every day and then testing to see what works for my clients and then for myself. So the key is testing. And again, entirely everything I talk about here is entirely my opinion. You guys can have your, discussions with me. You can unmute yourself if you want to interrupt me. But are we all ready to go? We're good to go? Can I hear everyone just type a yes? That we're good to go? We're still engaged? Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, awesome. Okay. So everyone can hear me? Good. So that was the next thing. So I want to know in general, what are you guys using Facebook for? For brand awareness, getting more leads, or just basically being social for fun? Just type it in, brand, leads, or fun. Or, Catherine says or, right? Brand and leads, okay? Leads and brand, cool. All right, awesome. So what's been happening in 2020 is that with Facebook, news feeds are now prioritizing organic posts, which are from families, friends, and groups. So what I've been noticing and what's been from industry experts is that anything that's very transactional, spammy, or anything that's over sensationalized on Facebook, right? It's not getting that push on Facebook. And it's because Mark Zuckerberg got into this whole ring roll of being questioned about, the whole, the Hillary Clinton stuff and the whole selling the stuff to the Russians. So he got a lot of banter from that. So he changed the algorithm to focus on more meaningful conversations. And what happens is he's now just basically pushing organic posts and anything that's very spamming less gets marked down by Facebook. So what happens is the content that Facebook is doing, just to give you a rough estimate of what's happening is that with your timeline at the moment, you got to understand your timeline. There's about 1,500 posts waiting to push into your timeline, competing for your eyeballs, okay? But only the AI, which is the algorithm, only selects the top 300 posts, or probably the top 200, 300 posts that's relevant to you. Anything that's marked as spammy, anything that has certain keywords that I'll talk about would get decreased. So which means if you want to go and, become an influencer or content creator or, try to spread your brand and leads and all that stuff that you guys talk about, is that if you want to get eyeballs on your posts, you have to be you have to take into account the certain words that I'll be telling you about to not use. And I'll talk about how often should we post, which leads on to the next thing is, meaningful conversations and how do we classify what is a meaningful conversation. So tonight's topic, it's very geared towards strategies you can go and test out for yourself. And the key is consistency. So to test something out, you have to be consistent. So what you do on your first week, I could send you guys like a spreadsheet that I do, that I track down, every time I post, I'll look at how many likes I got, how many engagement I got, how many comments I got. What was my topic? Was it an evergreen topic or was it something sensitive to time? For example, the bushfires that's happening to Australia right now, right? That's a very temporal time. So then I tested, and I'll give you guys that later too. So I'm going to jump into how often should we post. Okay. So Paul's on. Hey Paul, how you going? I'm just going to continue, Paul. So right now I'm talking about the strategies that we should implement that complements the algorithm of Facebook from October 2019, which got pushed out and changed by Mark Zuckerberg. So the thing that we talked about is how often should we post. For now, at the moment, I'm posting 3 times a week, so every second day. But I think I'm going to change that because with the algorithm, it seems to like posts that are every single day. But it really depends. I'm just going to unmute you, Paul. So it really depends your timing, okay? So if you don't have time, maybe posting 3 times a week is good. What I suggest is probably 2 posts or 3 posts, and then on a weekends jump on a live. Because what happens is Facebook's trying to see whether you're social, okay? And what happens is if you're posting every day, okay, then you're telling the algorithm that you're actually constantly social. But it doesn't mean you need to post. When I say post, posting on your timeline. What I mean say posting every day is say posting Monday on your post, and say on Wednesday you post on your timeline. So every second day you post on your timeline, because I know you guys get training from somewhere else about posting every second day. But what do you do in between that? What you do in between that is go on Facebook story. So could I see from a show of hands, or just type yes, who is actually using Facebook story at the moment on a consistent basis? Katie, right? What about you other guys? Catherine, Jude, Paul? Not consistent. Yeah. So Facebook Story is a brand new, it's not a brand new function. It's a function that basically is out, but it allows you to tell the algorithm you're being very social. And the thing with Facebook Story is you get to see who's actually, what type of eyeballs are on your post, and you can actually create polls. All right. And in terms of deep and meaningful conversation that Mark Zuckerberg is pushing towards, what I feel he wants is he wants a more emotional side in Facebook. So before, Facebook used to be, you know, click on this and there's this secret way of losing weight, very sensationalized kind of post that comes out. So he's trying to discourage that, and he's trying to go into more of this emotional connection between how your viewers see your post. And Facebook Story is a perfect element of he's trying to get people staying on Facebook more, right? Hey, Boomy, you're on, cool. So what I suggest is that if you can do it every single day, but it doesn't mean you have to post every single day on your timeline. So post your post on your timeline. For the second day, go on Facebook Story. And on your Facebook Story, you can rehash what you spoke on your timeline. So to give you a good example is, I might put a post that is about, for example, how I struggle as a refugee and made my way towards being a coach, or being a somewhere in life that it was better than before. Then what I'll do is I'll recycle that post in my Facebook Story as a poll. And then I'll recycle that picture and some sort of quote saying, look, you know, people who struggle more in life get more success. And then I'll do a poll. Do you agree with that? Right. And I usually get a lot of success from that, where they're like, yes or no. Or they comment, what do you mean by that? And then I'll refer them back to the post I posted the other day and get another eyeball on that. And then what happens is, the more eyeballs and more engagement on the post, the more the algorithm thinks you're being social, and it promotes you more. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is don't post more than like 5 times. Like if you're trying to post in a day, don't try to post 3 times a day. You're going to run out of content as well. And most importantly, you want to make sure that you get high engagement on a singular post, so that the algorithm knows. This is June. I'm going to unmute you. Okay. Sorry. I'm just getting someone else is on. Oh, Patience is on. Hey, Patience. Michael. I'm just going to unmute you guys, right? Just there's a lot of noise. Right. So basically the point of this slide is basically, I would suggest posting minimum 3 times a week, but if you can, post every single day, okay? But don't exceed more than about, 3 or 5 posts a day, okay? Unless it's really good content, okay? And what is the best post that you could put is the thing with the algorithm at the moment, when you post, what I've noticed is my post actually picks up 48 to 72 hours after. So when I usually post 6 months ago, I'll post and suddenly I have a huge influx of engagement. But what I've noticed is that now my post sort of takes 48 to 70 hours for other people's to land on their feed. And the reason for that is there's a lot of people posting, and there's a lot more users on Facebook. Like I said to you guys before, that there's about 1,500 posts trying to go into your timeline. And just imagine your timeline is like empty plates. How much food can you serve on that plate? Not many. So they're trying to squeeze about 100 to 200 posts into your timeline in that particular day. And your post is just queuing up to get there. So, and then certain things I'll talk about, which is keywords that will demote that post. I'll talk about that later. But what I want to try to say is don't get disheartened when you post and then you don't see a lot of engagement within that 42, and it will come in that 42 to 72 hours, okay? And while you're still waiting for that post to pick up when you're posted, go on your Facebook story. As you go on your Facebook story, then you can reference it back to that post to get a kick out of it. And it's also a recycle of content. You don't need to think of what I should, talk about. You can just basically, what I usually do is I would either jump on Facebook story and go, hey, I dropped the post. This is what I talk about. Go check it out. With Facebook story, you can go up to 3 to 5 times on Facebook story a day. That's how much you can go on. Don't go then more than like 10 times. I see sometimes with people with Facebook stories, it's like you see so many tabs on their Facebook story that you can't be stuck going through it. I think 3 to 5 is okay for them to skim through it. Maybe do a poll, do like a quote, maybe do a short 26-second video of your day, of your post, and reference them back to the post. So that gets a bit of a element back to the original post you did. What else could I say is that with Facebook story, if you guys are not using it, is that Facebook story allows you to have this deep and meaningful conversation with your prospects or viewers, right? So for your timeline, reserve it to your power shots, right? So what I call power shot is like your finishing punch, right? So it's like, and your Facebook story is like those little jabs, right? There's little small participations like, what should I eat today? Should I go KFC, McDonald's, do a poll? And then people would just like to chime in, right? Because they like to put in their little 2 cents. And what happens is you're trying to get small yes and small agreements, okay? So that maybe at the end of the month when you do a call to action, hey, jump on this 6-week course or jump on this, people are more likely to say yes because you sort of trained them to say yes to you on a micro level. So on a macro level, they say yes. And it also performs a sort of deep and meaningful conversation with you because they're following you. They get to see what your life is about because some of you live in different areas. Some of you live in the country. Some of you live in the States. Some of you live in areas. People like to know what's going on behind the content creator. And that's something I should do a lot too. So I don't have a lot of time, but that's not an excuse. And then the next thing I want to talk about, because I'm conscious about time, is that I talked about that. Always post stuff on your timeline, more evergreen stuff. So what do I mean by evergreen? Pain stuff, like, if you struggle to do a certain thing, you lack motivation, or something that's inspirational, something that it's not seasonal. So right now I see there's a lot of bushfire posts, and I also did one as well, but that's sort of very seasonal. It's not something that you can use again. With your evergreen stuff, I do highly suggest you, and probably I'll drop it down in the group, is that there is a table that you can mark your evergreen posts, and you can see oh, I did this post about inspiration. It got like 100 likes, right? And then what happens is you can actually look into that post and then mark that for 3 months or 6 months later to reuse that idea, but tweak it in something else. Because you sort of know that the market likes that kind of stuff, right? Some sort of pick me up kind of feel. So what happens is you're just collecting evergreen stuff that is just authentic to you. And, you know, people don't remember what you posted 3 months ago. We have this whole mentality of this goldfish memory, right? We have like, well, goldfish, just like scrolling. We're not really aware of what we read. We sort of get this hit of, you know, this good feeling because of this post, and we like it and engage. But something that comes up 3 months later might be the same thing, but a bit of a tweak here and there, and you get the same engagement. And what happens is, as you record more and stuff, your content gets easier. So you don't need to think, oh my God, I'm going to go reinvent the wheel, because you already know what type of stuff that are getting good hits. But the problem with a lot of people is that they don't record things down, right? They don't write down what time they post. And I know it's a bit stressful, but you know, if you want to be a good content creator and a bit of influencer, you need to mark down when you posted and what was the engagement, what was the result. Because you got to be like a scientist, right? You put your experiment out, you go, all right, it was this time in the morning, I got this much like, this was the comments, and then you track it. And if you don't track what you do, you won't improve, right? So that's that. Next thing I wanted to talk about is, like I said, Facebook stories. I could go and test that. And obviously I probably will try to do more training on how to do Facebook stories, because I know, like, like, I want to get a bit of like your comment here. In terms of a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being really shit at Facebook story, I just don't want to do it. 10, loving Facebook story. Are you guys using most of the functions in Facebook story, like on a 0 to 10? 10 saying, yes, I use all the functions. 0 saying, not really. Can I get an indication of where you guys are at? 2. Melissa, 2. Right. What about other guys? Love it, but I don't think I'm nailing it. 6, same. Okay. Now, are you guys using, I'm working on it. Okay. Are you guys, I notice a lot of people who go on Facebook story, and I go on Facebook just to check it out. Not a lot of people are using music. Do you guys know there's a music function in Facebook story? Jason, is that Facebook story? Yes. Okay. Do you guys use the music in Facebook story? No. Okay. So it's very easy to find music on Facebook story. And here's a trick too. I know it's sort of off topic, I'll include it, is that you can actually hit hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Get an Instagram account, because you know that not only you got to build up your Facebook platform, you got to build up your Instagram account, right? So what happens is, link your Instagram account to your Facebook, right? And only link the part that it says link to my Facebook story, all right? So if you're posting on Instagram, you only want it to share certain things to Facebook story, but not on your timeline, okay? So just be careful of that. So when you post on Instagram story or Insta story, what happens is it automatically feeds into Facebook story. So you post once, you get your content on 2 platforms. And the good thing about Facebook, Instagram, the story, is that it has a load more music. It has a load more GIFs. So do you guys know what GIFs are? GIFs. So it's those, those like 3 or 4 seconds animated thing, right? There's like 30 times more of GIFs. And there is like all these things like sliders. I don't know whether you guys know about sliders. So sometimes what I do is I go silly on Facebook story, on Insta story, just to test out. I do a funny dance, right? And then Insta story has this bar that you can slide back and forth to say, rate how Like I can put a caption, rate how bad I've danced, right? And then you can slide back and forth, right? You can't do that on Facebook story. There's no function on that, but on Insta story, you can do that. And sometimes, you can put down like, oh, rate how good this food is, or rate how good a certain thing is, right? And people like to do that, right? And then that forms a conversation which you can DM them and, do your whole chat sequence thing. But the good thing about it is Insta story feeds into Facebook story, right? And then what happens is you have your content on both platforms, right? So that's also a good tip. The next thing I want to talk about is with the whole algorithm thing is, I don't know whether you guys know, is don't share links, okay? So what I mean by don't share links is that when you're posting on your timeline, I know you want to include a link, say join my Facebook group, or jump on this page, or watch this YouTube clip, whatever. Anything you put in the actual post, the algorithm, if it recognizes is a link that it's not Facebook, it would demote it. So Facebook gives a score to your posts. So if it doesn't reach a certain score, it doesn't go into people's feed. And you know how I said before, getting your feed onto someone else's timeline is very competitive, right? So it's like 1,500 feeds going into someone's post per day, right? And you're just one of them. So if you got a link there, it's got to get demoted or probably not be seen at all, right? I've tried it as well. The way to avoid that is post your whatever blurb, your value added post on your timeline, and then do a comment with the link, okay? And I found out also with even Facebook groups, even if I put a comment, right, I mean on a post, and I go, please join my Facebook group in the actual post, it doesn't do well as well. So it somehow triggers that if there's a link in that post, it's not gonna activate it as well. So drop it in the comment below. So what do? You post, right? Wait 1 minute, and then go, hey guys, the link is this, and probably try to avoid the word link or like comment, or you got to get really creative, right? Like we can go smash that rather than comment on this link, because smash that link below, or hit that link below. Or if you can maybe use another word for link, hit this below, right? Anything that doesn't have the word link or comment would get you more score. And I'll probably try to do a table for what is the best word to use rather than comment and link. But it's really hard, but you just got to get really creative with that. The next things that Facebook is trying to discourage is people who are fishing for engagement. And this really hit me. Yeah, that's great. No wonder I see some people posting links in the first comment. What if you share a link in a group? Look, sharing a link in the, hey Melissa, so sharing a link in a group is okay, but I'm just talking about more of your actual personal page, your timeline. Okay, so sharing a link in a group is okay, but if you could do it, because in a group, it's a group, right? So it's your group. Love AB picks up and demotes you. Don't use link share. Yeah, that's right, Michael. That's cool. Love AB picks up. Yeah, I see some people posting links. So basically, the next thing I want to talk about, because I'm very conscious of time, is don't fish for engagements. So what I mean by don't fish for engagement is Facebook is actually right now monitoring posts, live videos, and videos that has a C2C. So what does that mean? A call to comment. Okay, so I do that too. And I noticed that sometimes I get hit by the algorithm. It doesn't do as well, even though I have good content, right? Good video, good everything. Because I go, hey, comment raw if you want to join this thing, right? Or comment this, right? Or share this video, or like this video, right? Because what Facebook is saying is that you're not actually doing this thing called deep and meaningful conversation. You're just throwing a rod out there just for engagement, right? Just like hit this, you get this, comment this, get this. And what I found that is Facebook actually monitors your comments. And if there's a certain word that keeps repeating, it sort of triggers that to not push it out further. Rather, what it's looking for is if you posted something and don't say hit this and that, which you can, you just need to say, comment this. You can say smash the love button or smash this button, right? But again, it's trying to learn how people are trying to fish for engagement, and what it likes is comments in each box that are different and unique, that is addressing your post, rather than awesome, powerful, boom, love it, right? Those kind of stuff, it doesn't see it as a sort of like a value added thing that is engaging with it. More like, oh, I really like that, and that's so thing, and I want to learn more. Can you let me know? Oh, it's really inspirational, and then they give a reason why. That type of post gets pushed more, and I found that a lot with my posts when I get really deep and vulnerable. That sort of gets people to really write something. But when I do these type of like kind of braggy posts, like, oh, look at my testimonial, this is what I made, and people are like, awesome, good on you and stuff. It doesn't do as well when I go, I'm down in dumps. In fact, I lost a lot of money, and people are like, oh, I resonate with this. Like somehow Facebook is not actually controlled by a human being. It's just AI, and the AI just recognizes certain repetitive words and demotes that post. So what it means is you can still continue to do it. I sometimes do it just for the sake of having, a clear idea who is actually wants this stuff. But I just want to let you know that it actually limits your reach to the people on your timeline. And also before you go on live as well, right? Even you say things like share this, jump on this page, comment this, I want to see this. The actual algorithm actually picks up those keywords. And what happens is sometimes when I'm going live, it doesn't extend that reach. So just be conscious that maybe before you go on live, rather than saying comment, maybe like right now, I'll probably use the word smash the love button, right? Or let's do like a love emoji contest. Who gives me the most emoji wins, gets something, right? Like just try to avoid using the word comment, share, tag someone, stuff like that. Maybe you could open a thesaurus. What's a better word to say comment or share? What's a better word to say smash, right? So yeah, the best thing is to go to it just to deliver massive value. Exactly, deliver massive value. Be authentic is the best way to stay on top of the algorithm, right? But like I said, I'm just trying to give you bits and pieces so that you guys can take away what you take away. Now, next thing is basically what to avoid. Like I said, please comment, please share. Again, experiment with it. If you're consistent with your Facebook posting, you need to basically treat Facebook like, I don't know where you guys watch the movie How to Train Your Dragon, right? Facebook is like that dragon. You got to train the AI a certain way to behave. So what I mean by that, so this is one good tip that I do, right? So basically, you want to train the AI to think that you're social. So when you do a post, this is a good hack. Before you do a post, or before you go on live or do anything, right? 5 minutes before, go on someone else's timeline or someone else's feed and just do a comment, right? So you just sort of warm up the algorithm to think you're being social first. You go and comment. You can go on your messenger and see whoever's green, which means they're online. Go and DM them, hey, how you going? How's your day? And jump on their timeline just to see what they're doing. Drop some meaningful comments. And what happens is you're just telling the algorithm you're being quite social in that moment. And then somehow when I do it, I go post or I do it live, I suddenly pick up more engagement. rather than doing it before that, rather than not doing anything and just like, cold turkey, let's jump on, boom, let's go live, right? Or let's post something. It's a bit of work, but then, Facebook wants to see that you're being social rather than just jumping on, doing your posts, and then going away and doing your own stuff, right? So experiment at that. See whether that works for you guys, right? Let's see what else I want to talk about. Okay, so the thing that I get with a lot of clients that I deal with is what happens when your post doesn't work, right? What happens when your post doesn't work? Okay, rather than be frustrated, like say I said that when your post goes out, it takes about 48 to 72 hours for something to pick up, and the algorithm just like spreads it out, right? It's your turn, like you're lined up, it's your turn, it picks up stuff, right? What happens if you got like two likes and after 42 or 70 hours, you still have 2 likes, right? Rather than being frustrated about it, I want you guys to be fascinated about it. So go back to that post and really ask yourself like questions like, like, were you being authentic? Were you being genuine? Like if you saw that from another person and that was exactly like the same post like you, would you really engage with that? Was it something that resonated with you? Does it add value to you? So rather than being frustrated, oh, why am I not getting engaged? Maybe it's be fascinated by, maybe I could do something better. So that's where it comes back to the whole recording your post, right? And seeing what went well, what didn't go well, and how could you improve, right? And getting very scientific behind it, because we don't know what the hell the algorithm is. All we could do is do our thing and then get feedback from the market and the algorithm to see what's working. But again, the ultimate algorithm hack is basically being genuine, being authentic, and like, what Michael was saying, add massive value, bring out your personality. Because when you can do those 3 things, those things never go out of style, right? Being genuine, being authentic, adding value, bringing your personality into every post, every video, never goes out of style. Whatever the algorithm does, it still would promote you because you're being yourself, okay? What I want to say is, does anyone have any questions so far? Because like I said, pretty conscious about time so that people can just get some bits and pieces. I may ask, I have about 2 Facebook accounts. One has 4,000 friends, the other one has 1,000 plus. Should I focus only one or do both? So the question is, Bumi, is why do you have 2 Facebook accounts? Is it just you're doing separate roles? Like one's personal, one's business? Like why do you have 2 separate accounts? Or maybe you want to unmute yourself? While I find my other posts. Okay, so I don't know, were you hitting me? I'm just going to move on until you reply, because like I said, okay, so next thing, so I'll wait for you to reply if you can hear me. The next thing is, at first I want to separate. I would suggest you, Bumi, is to focus on one profile, right? Because what happens is each profile that you do, the algorithm is trying to learn about who you are, right? So if one profile you're doing sort of like, a different niche, and then one profile you're doing something else, what happens is the algorithm learns who you are. So it'll give you the content that you're saying you like, and it also will push out your content to certain people that you're posting about. So what happens is you can obviously have 2 accounts and experiment with that, but I just don't know about your time. But I would probably focus on the 4,000 friends, because it means there's a potential of 4,000 eyeballs that is on your content. But you can absolutely do two Facebook accounts. But for me, I just don't have time, because I rather have my personal Facebook account and then work on my business page Facebook account, and then work on my group Facebook account and test things that way. Hopefully that answers you. What I ask for you guys, videos. Yes, I will do that. Yes. For videos, are you guys doing videos? Are you guys doing minimum 1 video per week? Whether it be live, or think like, yes, June is the queen of lives. What about others? Not yet. Right. Katie's doing it. Cool. Right. So here's something that's alarming, right? Video is king on Facebook right now. Okay. So what does that mean is that, to give you an idea, there are over 8 billion video views through the platform every single day. 8 billion video views, right? So video content posted on Facebook sees an average of 135% more organic reach than photos. Okay. Now this is spread out on Facebook business and business page and profile. So the good thing about video is that it's actually getting more traction on the platform. I don't know you guys schedule for next week. So all my videos are scheduled for next week after my launch. All right, cool, awesome. So all your videos are scheduled for next week after the launch. Well, look, depending on what your content is about, right, and how you, I'm assuming when you say schedule, it's on a business page, right? Like a business page where you can schedule stuff. I'm talking about both. Yes, yeah, cool. So, you can actually tag certain things on the video and stuff, and then you can actually try to push it onto watch party. Yeah, patient do videos when I launch. Yeah, good guys. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is with videos is before you adopt this mentality that I'm gonna only do videos before launch, you can actually do videos now on Facebook Story. Okay, Facebook Story, the content there gets erased after 24 hours. So that's a good practice ground for you guys to do your Facebook Story. And something that I want you guys to learn is that with videos these days, we're getting more and more impatient with watching someone's video, right? If someone's video is 10 minutes, we're least likely to watch unless the content is really, really good, or it's shot in like a really high HD and there's a lot of change in angles and there's some skits going on, all that stuff. But there's a platform out now which is called TikTok, right? I know it's for kids, but it's called TikTok, TikTok. That platform, sometimes I feel like it's a new trend where it's a 1 minute platform of videos, but if you go on there and watch it, you'll be amazed how much content creators can squeeze in 1 minute. Like skits, information, it's like bam, boom, 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 right? And that's what I'm trying to also bring towards my videos in Facebook, is that how do you get this sort of easy, entertaining, sort of digestible information that people can share, right? And look, you got to test that. You can do 1 minute, then try like a 5 minute video, then maybe try a 10-minute video. As long as I said, you guys, you got to record what you're doing, right? Otherwise, you don't know what is right, what is wrong. But I can say is that Facebook's actually prioritizing videos on this platform, probably for the sake that it's trying to compete with TikTok, it's trying to compete with all those other video platforms out there, that they're trying to retain people on Facebook because of this video content. And with your videos, I want to ask, is it more factual that you guys do, or do you sort of weave a story into it? Just want to ask, like Michael, you said you're launching some videos next week. Is it just like, hey, I'm Michael, this is what I do, fact, bam? Or do you sort of weave some sort of story into the videos? I'll let you answer that. All right, let's move on. One tip I got, especially when you do videos, right? And especially when you do lives, right? Experiment with landscape version and portrait version, okay? So what I mean by that is when you hold your phone, like your phone here, right? And this is like landscape, and this is portrait. Wait, so this is landscape, this is portrait, right? When you go on live, it's preferably on portrait, because what happens is when someone is scrolling through your phone, through your feed, and they don't want to watch your feed, or this is on this mentality of scrolling, having a portrait, it takes longer for them to scroll. They probably have to scroll 2 or 3 times before the video goes away, right? Or your live goes away. Because they're in that goldfish mentality, just looking for something that's engaging, but they don't know, like your content might be really engaging, but they just don't know that. But if you do it on a sort of like a landscape kind of thing, one scroll and your video is gone, right? So I highly suggest when you're doing lives, chuck it on portrait. I'm still experimenting with my videos. My videos, I drop it here, is educational only. Okay, so play with that, Michael. Education only, right? But sometimes, you know, you might take it. You might do 1 week of just like I call it info entertainment kind of thing, right? Bit of a skitty kind of thing, or a bit of a funny vibe. You never know, right? Because I don't know, with the whole the way people use social platform these days, you know, the sort of like viral videos I see the most is the entertainment kind of stuff. Yeah, got to have fun as well, right? Like I'll say jump on TikTok. There's a lot of people who do educational stuff, but they make it really funny. But that's a whole different entire topic. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're doing videos, right, this is what I recommend, is 1080 times 1080. Okay. So if you look at my videos on my feed, I have this square Instagrammy box. Why I do that is intentional, is because I can recycle that video into Instagram. Okay. If you follow Facebook's sort of landscape kind of thing, or that long stuff, you can't really recycle that video into Instagram. And if you could, which I'm trying to, is to keep your videos 1 minute. Because with Instagram, their video format is only tops 1 minute. So if you have like a 3-minute video on Facebook, you know, you can't really use it in Instagram unless you open the editing software again and rejig everything, and you don't really have much time. But if you keep it to 1080, right, even though it's 3 minutes, look, still recycled Instagram, right? You can just put a link there. Hey, go to my Facebook and watch that, right? But all I'm saying is, when you see certain videos, why does it pop out more? Is because it's on 1080. It's covering the whole phone, right? If you're on a different sort of, do you guys even know what dimensions you use in your videos? That's what I really ask. All right. Well, you guys think about it, whether you guys know what dimension you're using, right? And whether you guys are using any editing software, right? Nope. Okay, it's nope, right? Katie, get InShot. Okay. If you shoot your videos on your phone, there's a program called InShot, right? You can go to canvas mode and you can determine that size, right? Because if you're just shooting it from your phone through, I don't know, Spark or whatever, it's like random format, right? You don't know. And then you post out to Facebook, it tries to fit your dimension. It looks kind of odd, right? So 1080, or go for that Instagram kind of dimension, right? Instagram dimension works every time. You can share it on Instagram. You can share it on multiple platforms. LinkedIn loves that 1080. Okay. Moving on is consistency. So I'm just going to really wrap up here, is basically consistency. So if you're posting the reason why you need to be consistent is that you'll notice that as you're creating more content on a regular basis, is that you have viewers who wait for your content. They might not engage with your content, might be silent viewers, but they are waiting for your content. So what happens is, if you're posting at 9 o'clock, then post at 9 o'clock consistently, right? It also keeps you accountable as well, right? And it also allows you to experiment and check with your schedule that, okay, 9 o'clock is a good time. Then maybe the next week, rather than post at 9 o'clock, post at 10 o'clock. You got to experiment what time is good for you, because I can say, for me, 9 p.m. works for me, right? But 9 p.m. necessarily work for you because we're probably in a different niche or a different target market, right? So if you're targeting, for example, stay-at-home moms, right, then maybe 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock might not be good, because that's when they're picking up their kids, right? But for me, it might be a good time because I might be tackling blokes who, you know, I don't know, like, you know, probably checking their phones during work or stuff that you got to experiment with yourself. There's no actual, you know, golden rule to the algorithm. It's something you have to experiment yourself. And the only way to experiment that is that, like, I could share with you my table. It's very simple. Spreadsheet, date, when was the thing posted, what was the content about, was it evergreen, and then what type of likes, engagement you got, and then record it down. And, you know, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute. It's more about post, and then when you check back 48 to 72 hours later, record it down, done. And then you can sort of use that data to your advantage, right? And that really wraps it up. So basically, that is what I want to say is to summarize is really quick summary is basically algorithm change in October 2019. Okay, you can see there's a lot of different changes where Facebook's more prioritizes organic posts rather posts from business pages or paid ads. They still work if you're pumping lots of money through paid ads, but organic posts is something they're promoting, and something that's considered, you know, deep and meaningful for Facebook is stuff that doesn't have please like, please share, please comment, or you're fishing for engagement, please comment, boom, to get this, right? You might get the results, but in terms of versus a very natural post, you'll get less engagement. So you probably have to think of more creative ways to get that, but not say that. It's hard. It's something I struggle with, but that's probably why I create this group so we could share. I also talked about, you know, testing and experimentation. So getting a table out and testing when you posted and getting the results so that you can learn what the AI is actually treating your post as. And like I said, how often should you post? I suggest you post every single day, but mix it up with hitting your timeline, hitting your Facebook story, and going through this whole emotional journey in your posts, getting more emotions in your posts, which is basically using stories, using words that are more showing rather than telling, right? So that's a different topic we can talk about that, which is about storytelling. So rather than saying that person's angry, you know, saying, you know, I held my fists really tight and I could hear, you know, my jaws cracking. So those type of things that causes emotion, right? That's something that Facebook loves. And it's somehow the algorithm learns it. It's a very strange algorithm. It's a very smart algorithm. And I just wanted to wrap that up. Like, I'll just leave it to questions and answers. Anything that you guys want to ask me, what you found most useful, or something that you want to share, you can unmute yourself if you want. Let me know. Everyone's still here, right? Or is my internet lagging? All right, all right. That's what you got out of today. InShot, right? The thing with InShot is that you got to pay for it, right? Otherwise, there's a watermark on InShot, okay, and it cheapens up your video. So when you go to InShot, pay for it. It's like I think $14 for a year, and then it unlocks all the functions, right? And the thing with InShot that makes my videos different is that you can actually press filter and you can put cinematic look. So what happens is, for me, sometimes I look kind of white, right? But if I put on the cinematic look, it looks like I had a tan, right? But nobody knows that, right? And in terms of training, I can post it on, you know, the Facebook group, but you know, there's plenty of training on YouTube. Just go how to use InShot, 5 minutes, boom, 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 right? When live, is it better to live on Facebook or on your page? It really depends how many people are following your page, right? So if your page has like, you know, 10,000 followers, you definitely go live on your page, right? Yeah, not many. Well, yeah. So then go live on your personal account, which has 4,000 people. But what I'm trying to say for you guys is don't stop building up your audience in your Facebook page, which is your business page, right? Because for your personal account, it's only 5,000 people. But for your Facebook page, unlimited. You can go up to a million people, right? So what I've been doing as a hack, and the general rule is 2 to 1. So if you spent $1 on your content, whether it be a video or whatever you do, you got to spend $2 on advertising. So what I've been doing right now is I would do my video posts. You know, you guys can jump on page, you see my sort of Gary Vee kind of style videos, which I'm trying to experiment and trying to get better with my script and just chunking it down to really fine detail and all that fluff that I'm trying to do. What I do is I put it onto my Facebook business page, still Quang Quinn as myself, but it's a business page, and I chuck $5 on it. And what happens is the $5 on it, you can select you want more likes. Right, so that goes out into wherever you want. You might target the US, you might target wherever, right? And what happens? It picks up likes. So for $5, I picked up 100 likes in the last 2 weeks during the Christmas. So you can imagine that if I keep spending this thing as like every time you do a video or a live, you can sort of download that video or whatever, and then put it onto your page and pay $5 to get it out there. But you got to make sure that your content is good. So I know that my content is sort of up to par. It sort of has this sort of kind of cinematic feel, interchanging shots and stuff. It could be better. But it has to be good content that people will go, oh, I like it. That's what I'm saying. If you could do 1 minute videos, or probably 1 minute to 30-second videos, that is like you watch it, oh, cool. That satisfies this goldfish mentality where people just like watch it, or just share it, have a laugh or whatever, then put it on your business page. That's more likely to get you more likes. And then if you can get up to 10,000 likes on your business page, then go on live, because that means you've got 10,000 eyeballs on you, right? And nothing's stopping you from going live one after another. Go on live on your personal page, then jump on live on your business page, right? Hopefully that answers your question. Just scroll up a bit. Anything else, guys? Anything else that you found useful or something you want to share? Otherwise, not really. Thank you. All right. Yep. Thank you. Train yes, no in story. Train yes, no in story. What do you mean by that? Train yes, no in story. Train yes. No.
Quang, it's Katie.
Yes.
Just about getting them to do micro yeses.
Yes. Okay, cool. Yes. Micro yeses. Yes. Micro yeses. Facebook stories was useful. Yes. Cool. So I want you guys to play on Facebook story. Facebook story is this amazing platform where it's for a lot of lazy people. Like, I find that a lot of people who engage with me more is in Facebook stories, and I find that a lot of sales I get is from Facebook stories, just by me posting. Like, sometimes I know ways to get Facebook following. I do like stupid videos where I just dance in my pajamas, like really totally off cue with my brand, where I'm more like this corporate look kind of thing. But people like to say, hey, you look like an idiot, right? Or I put like, do I dance nice? And like, no, you suck, right? And I'm like, well, why do you think that? And then I get into this sort of conversation with them, and then somehow it leads to like, hey, why don't we jump on a call and let's talk about stuff, right? And somehow Facebook story is something that I feel like it's a place where you can experiment, and there's you can't never do enough Facebook stories. Well, you can do up to 5, right? And I can tell you right now, guys, InShot, right? As well as you're getting InShot, the next thing I want you to get is Story Cutter, right? Story Cutter, right? Story Cutter is the next thing you got to do. So as you get Story, what does that do? So what does Story Cutter do? Because you got to notice when you shoot a video, right? Say blah blah blah. My name's Katie. I'm doing this. I'm at this, and blah blah. And you're doing all these scene changes, right? You notice that when you chuck onto Facebook Story, it's only 26 seconds, right? And you're like, oh shit, I only can show 26 seconds of that, right? what you do is before you go to Facebook story, you get that video that you just shot on your phone, touch it up in InShot, make it nice and all that jazz, right? Add music, you can all that stuff, right? Chuck it to Facebook Story Cutter, and that cuts it into 15 seconds. Or you can try another find an app that cuts it exactly 26 seconds. So what happens is then you go on Facebook Story and you launch it, bam, 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 and when people watch it, as that one finishes, it streamlines into the next, it segues in the next one really smoothly. And a lot of people who are not educated with that, they're like, fuck, how the fuck did she do that, right? Like it's like cinematic look, and it's like flowing through Facebook Story, right? And that's because there's background software in it, which is, you know, InShot, Story Cutter, and you'll get addicted. You're like, dude, this is really good stuff, right? Katie's like gold, right? And then what happens is you enjoy content creation more. And what I found with Facebook Story is I like to experiment with a lot of random stuff that I don't usually do with my brand. I do it and I test it out. And if I get really good engagement, that becomes a future post, right? So if I hit a nerve in some sort of way, maybe I might be showing what I've ate or where I'm going. I might be going somewhere, or whatever I'm doing. If it hits a nerve, that will become my post, my timeline post, my final punch, because you want to leave your final punch in your timeline, and hopefully that gets more chances of getting prioritized when Facebook pushes these feeds into people's timeline. Like I said, 1,500 feeds are trying to pump into people's timeline. It's like, I don't know, not to be gross, it's like, you know, sperm, right? The fastest swimmer gets there, right? The others are just rejected, and then it's like, oh man, I wasted like 2 hours writing that fucking post when I could have just like got more specific. Yeah. So cool. Look, it's 11, guys. I want to wrap this up. I probably might want to do this every single week. I'll do another sort of like, there's so many stuff on Facebook hacks that can do that I'm actually constantly researching. Maybe next one I'll do like, you know, certain functions that on your phone that you don't know about, that you can probably press this and then find who liked your stuff, like certain shortcuts on your phone that you could sort of like shortcut your time, because I know we're all busy. So I'm going to look a lot into that and trying to add more value to the group. But any final questions before we wrap this up, or we're good to wrap it up? Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I've recorded this. I'm going to pump it onto Facebook group. I love you guys that you can. Thanks guys. My value core vision in 2020 is to add a lot of value and free content rather than charging for it, because I do feel like, you know, there are times where you can charge for stuff, but you know, sometimes you got to give value, right? So I'm trying to create this group. So if you guys can help me promote this group, add people in, I promise to add more content, add more free stuff, and basically really focus on how to use Facebook better and get this engagement going, that everyone's sharing like shortcuts to use Facebook. Yeah, that's something I want to do. Cool guys. So I'll stop this. Hope you guys have a lovely night, and thanks for jumping on. I will see you guys next week. See you guys.